I would have to go search for either wait till we go over my uncle's house, wait till we go over granddaddy's house, and we go wait to go find his porn stash.
Right.
So,
but it was at least stashed.
It was then. You had to go look, search, and go out your way to find it.
You ain't got to look now.
Think about today. Think about where we are today in this time. Anything that a kid mind can conjure up, anything that he could think of, if he can spell, he can go see it. Whether that's gay sex, transgender sex, any death, anything that he can spell, and anything that the devil can put in his mind, he can now be exposed to it
because of the internet.
Because of the internet. So that was never factored in today. So our children have more exposure to things that we can't even imagine. So when we look at our kids today, we having conversations.
Right.
Whether we texting or talking, our kids are walking around with earbuds in their ear.
Right.
And we say something to our kids, we got to say it again. They say, huh? They got to take out what they listen to. Say, what'd you say, mom and dad? Okay. Okay. And then they put that earbud right back in. We don't have a clue what they're hearing.
Well, you know, in my house, my daughter, I knew everything that was in my house. In her room, in everywhere. I wasn't invading nobody's privacy, but I knew everything that was in my house. I simply think that we as parents and young parents today, the kid cannot become their best friend. The kid has to remain their kid, their child, their loved one, until he get out there and start paying his own bills. And I'm from the old school. I believe in whooping butt if necessary. I believe that in school, you need to tear somebody's little ass up in school if the bad little boy is over there disturbing the 31 kids that are trying to learn, and he's the one that's disturbing the class. We got to do something about it. You got to do something about it. I understand the transition of the internet and all those things, but we got to bring family back to the family, love back to the family. You know, we talked about the Black Lives Matter.
What's going on, August?
And all lives matter. Even Nipsey's life matter. But then, like you say, no attention is paid for the Black lives that matter that's killed every day here.
Well, when this baby come home from the hospital, baby mama and baby daddy got a 1 or 2 year. If something happened between this black girl and this black boy when they have a baby, they having fun till that baby come, and then there's some hate involved.
Mm-hmm.
So we talking about restoring the family. Me and baby mama and baby daddy hate each other. How you gonna restore that? And then this boy done went over here and made another baby. How do you restore the family when the boy got kids everywhere?
Well, but here's the deal. You know, there's so many different things that ought to take place or could take place. You can't stop everything.
So just what I said. I said, man, F black people. I'm gonna turn around and look at these kids. Because Frederick Douglass got the best thing in mind. He said it is much easier to create strong children than it is to repair broken men.
Yep.
We talking repairing broken men. Let's throw that to the side.
Okay.
Let's just focus on creating strong children. Okay, how do we create strong children? They said it takes a village.
Takes a village
to raise a child.
A village.
It takes a village. So right now, mom and daddy fucked up. We can't fix mom and daddy, but we can sure make a great village.
Well, but here's the only deal. Again, comparing the two generations and the generations to come. What happened, and I was there, in 1970, when I graduated from Roosevelt High School, plug Roosevelt, I want everybody to understand that. We get our butt whooped. But in around 1972, when things started kind of began to change and the integration of the schools really kicked off real strong, they came up with the "Don't hit my child."
Yup.
And when you said
that's
"Don't
where they
hit
messed
my
up.
child,"
Don't
That's
hit my child.
really when things began to
Because I got my ass whooped by the neighbors.
because they didn't want with the white teachers. Well, the black folks didn't want the white teacher whooping their child and yada yada yada, and things just began to mushroom out of control.
I got whoopings. They didn't work. Y'all got whoopings. My mom, we got whoopings. But what happened?
What you got whooping for?
On the butt, on the wherever.
I mean, no. At school, at home.
Oh, I got them at school and at home. Y'all grew up in there where you still got whoopings at school. You still got paddles at school. But what
What's
happens?
going on, baby love?
What happens when my hate get with my weight and you hit me, mama? What happens, daddy, when my hate, you ain't gonna hit me? No, what happens when that happens? So what happens to my son is 19 years old. He ain't been to jail, and I can't remember whooping him since he was 5 years old. Mm-hmm. The fear of daddy being disappointed is way worse than the whooping.
Facts. And that's what people be missing.
Mama being hurt by what I did affected me way by mama hitting me. Because most of the time you ain't whooping the kid unless you frustrated.
Now where was CPS back in the day?
Oh, they didn't exist.
That's my point right there.
They didn't exist.
They exist now. Now the kids can call the CPS. They call the police on the mama. On the daddy.
But why? You think the rod go correct us?
It corrected me.
Oh, it didn't me. It didn't me. It didn't me. It didn't me. I started running away from home.
Hey, listen, I was a senior in high school. My daddy told me, be home at 12. I came in at 12:02.
I know a kid killed
him. And boy, look at him. My daddy was all over me.
I know a kid killed his mother and father because he didn't want to take whooping no more.
Well, how long ago was that?
He was 14 years old.
But how long ago was that?
30 years ago. What worked then don't work for us because the Bible says the generation is going to get weaker and wiser.
Yep.
You can't beat us. So what's happening is back then, daddy really didn't have a relationship with the boy. Daddy just whooped the ass when mama said he done something wrong. Daddy didn't throw the football with him. So now here we is, we saying what got y'all right didn't get us right. Y'all didn't have a crack era. Y'all didn't see y'all grandma was getting high. Y'all didn't walk in and see y'all best friend, 15 years old, sleeping with your drug addicted mother. This is a new pain of young people that need some new solutions, some new ideas, and some new innovative ways to heal this pain. Not beat them.
Well, here's the deal, though. Here's where I'm trying to go and we'll be going. We already said we're going to get these folks in here. We're going to invite them. You're going to help me. Don't y'all forget we called your name.
I'm going to go get them.
I'm going to make expeditiously.
I'm going to make calls for them.
Okay, but here's the deal. We have to do one thing. One, we got to write off the has-been. And we got to figure out where we're going.
Don't go anywhere. We've got more of The Other Side with Dewaine Carraway after a word from today's sponsors.
This Henderson's commercial. Listen, this Henderson's chicken commercial. It makes me want chicken, no doubt. But it's so 1995.
Ready to give it to you. Come on over. We're open.
So just it's given just for me.
At Henderson Chicken, once you've tasted our chicken, you'll want more.
But they got a commercial. Can't be mad at it. And Henderson's is fire. I ain't gonna lie. Henderson is fire. I ain't never seen it. This commercial. This is interesting. I don't want to go through all these commercials. Black-owned coffee spot. The Fly Bar. At Love Field. Okay, cool.
Welcome back to The Other Side with Dewaine Carraway.
We can begin to teach the baby that's born today how and what it takes in today's world, not yesterday's world, for them to be safe, educated, and grow into the most successful people that they can ever become.
That's gonna.
But it has to start right here.
That's gonna start with what we doing as far as prenatal care services in our communities. That's gonna come with teaching young girls the importance of breastfeeding. Man, you can't imagine how many girls when they bring that baby home.
Gotta give that baby that
ain't
titty
nobody
milk.
holding that baby like this no more. My baby, breastfeeding that baby. That baby getting put down. That pillow getting put up on his mouth. That baby bottle is being put up on his mouth. That baby holding it home. And mamas can't wait to pick that blunt back up on that phone.
So that's
the starting.
That's
point.
where we're going to start.
That's the starting point.
So we're going to have to make a commitment that we're going to change. We're going to still do everything we're going to do. We're going to make money.
This is what I'm saying. So this is where I'm trying to go with this.
Okay.
We need our black sororities.
Okay.
We don't never see down off in the projects, off in the hood. We need some etiquette classes down there.
That's right.
We need to see our black brothers down off in the communities creating curriculums and programs in the schools. Since they got connections, it starts in the school.
But here's the next deal. It's going to start with us because the first thing we got to do to get to that point. You're right with your point. But you know what we got to do? We got to call them out. Now, wait a minute.
Gotta forgive our mothers.
Now,
black men need to forgive our mothers.
Cowboys, my very favorite football team in the whole wide world, been that way.
I ain't seen them in no school in Europe.
That's my point. That's where I'm finna go. And that's where I'm finna go. Here's the deal.
The Dallas Mavericks, I ain't seen them in no schools.
And that's where we're finna go. And that's exactly what's on my list to talk about. Is the fact that when they get on the Dallas Cowboys, for example, they get drafted, they get on the plane. They go to Valley Ranch.
Those are kids.
They don't even know where Henderson Chicken is in Oak Cliff.
They don't perform no community service nowhere.
And that's what we got to call them out.
When we have concerts and they bring all these big time rappers and names into our cities and come get our money and leave with the money, they don't stop and grace no community. Let no kid see them. Let no kid touch them. See, that's why Ali was the greatest. He used to let the people touch him.
Well, see, and here's the deal. I go back in the day. In Oak Cliff, I'm talking about Oak Cliff that's nationally, worldwide known. Oak Cliff.
World War III died it on the highway.
Here's the deal. Abner Haynes lived in Oak Cliff. Harvey Martin lived in Oak Cliff. Bob Hayes lived in Oak Cliff. Cornell Green lived in Oak Cliff. Doug Perkins lived in Oak Cliff. We can go on and on to all of the capital. Tony, everybody lived in Oak Cliff. And we didn't have this bullcorn that's going on because they lived in Oak Cliff. Now, these folks don't even know where Oak Cliff is. They take a GPS for them to come to find where we are in Oak Cliff. They don't come to our schools. They don't come to our communities. They don't come to the church in the hood. And when you see them on television, and this go for the Dax and everybody else, they're over there and they got a bunch of kids.
They're at the white schools.
They don't look like our little kids.
They're at the white schools.
So we don't have that. But we got to bring it back because now here's the deal. We were going to the Super Bowl when we had pep rallies in Glendale Shopping Center with the Dallas Cowboys. And even Tom Landry, all of the football players, Ed Too Tall Jones, Harvey, all of them would come to Glendale Shopping Center and we'd have the biggest doggone pep rallies for the Dallas Cowboys. Our community.
I remember 97-9 came to Sycamore Park one time. Had Young Dro, Rick Ross, had every boy with people in the trees. It was a free community concert. I remember they had a HIV. If you come take an AIDS test, boy, you get a free ticket. And this was, come on now.
So here's the deal. You, Yalla Beasley, Trap, and everybody.
I'm going to go get them.
You got. And then let's call out the doggone preachers and let's call out the other folks we need to have, the other communities.
We'll get them next.
Wait, no. I'm just saying, make sure they understand without us, we have to start the movement. Okay? Once the movement is cranked up, check it out. They want to get on board. But here's the deal. It got to start somewhere.
Well, this is what they have to understand.
And they got to understand they got to see they got to see this other side. They don't know about this other side because they ain't never been on this side.
They family members have, and they don't understand what their family members come through and going through. But most people know when their family members come from the other side, they ain't the same.
And one thing we might you now, I have a friend, and I've seen some of your comments about him, but I can tell you one thing: he was in Oak Cliff. That's Dion. Prime time. I know that, but Dion was in Oak Cliff all the way around, dealing with the kids. I know what people might say about him. They say anything they want to say about him, but I think that he did do a service for HBCUs.
I think he did too. I didn't know his son got robbed. I didn't know his son got robbed.
Dion's been through so much.
Yeah,
and I love him to death.
I didn't know they robbed his son.
Yeah, but see, I love him to death. And he loved me too. He's a personal friend of mine. But here's the deal. When I say he opened up some doors, he opened up some doors that's been closed forever now. It's for the other folks to come on and get with it and walk through the same door. It is for the SWAC conference to help do what they're supposed to do to elevate. You just can't put it all on one man. And he's responsible.
And even
he helped them.
And even to give him kudos when he came through and tried to do with the charter schools in both Dallas and
Fort Worth. Well, that's my point. It was on Ann Arbor, down the street from Glendale Shopping Center.
Yeah,
that's where the school was.
But that was one man trying to do something.
And that's the point. The Hateration Committee, the same as in Fort Worth that hates you, for example. Same ones in Dallas that hate me. Okay, I call them the Hateration Committee, and I challenge them to come do what the hell I'm doing, come do what the hell you doing, and then say something about it. But if you ain't doing a damn thing, you need to get over in the corner and keep your damn mouth closed. Get on board or get off the ship.
Yes, sir.
Now look, before we got started, you presented me with something, with this hat. I want to make sure that folks understand this. I got to promote this hat. All right, I want to make sure they understand that this
US
is your
patent.
brand. Yeah, U.S. patent, and this is hat. Never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. That means y'all know what that is. That's his version of nigga.
Actually, I took Tupac's version. Tupac was our Moses coming up. So that concept nigga, Nigga, I never wanted that word to die.
I'd rather be your Nigga. We can get
I tried to
smoke
patent
weed all day.
Nigger, but the United States government
It don't matter if you love me, baby.
No one will ever be
You
able
need
to
a
patent
drug in your
that
life.
word. So
Because busters ain't
I took
love
the
and you
word
right.
Tupac used, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. A nigger nation, the birth of a new nation. And his family gave me the okay, gave me the nod. And so I got this word patent by way of the U.S. government. Wow. I own the word Nigga in America.
Well, let me say it. I'm one of the biggest kids in the city of Dallas. And I have a 501c3, the Dallas Youth Council. And I took 5 buses.
I remember.
Of other people's children.
I remember.
And we went to Mobile, Alabama, went to Tuskegee University, Alabama State.
I remember.
We went to Jackson State. We went to Selma, Alabama. We got off the 5 buses and we walked across
the bridge,
the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And we were blessed to have a gentleman, an older gentleman, that also walked across that bridge that joined us on the same day of Bloody Sunday. So this is the name of my tour. You go online and find it. The Legacy Tour in 2018, okay, from Selma to Montgomery, all those kids, I'm telling you. And I just want you to have this t-shirt.
Oh, man, I remember.
And you got all my sponsors on the back, so I had a whole bunch of sponsors. And I took this trip. I believe in having the sponsors and recognizing them. But I'm going to tell you something. This trip was the greatest trip that
Carraway
kids could ever see. Because while
Get
I was
locked
up,
already.
then John Lewis died. Okay.
Get a man the shirt already. See, that's how the old people be doing.
Had an opportunity
old people be
to see.
Why he taking so long to get that badass shirt?
Get that nigga the shirt this very day, and they say, Miss Carraway, remember me? I don't remember all the kids. Okay, but it's imperative for us to show our kids what's going on.
He folded it up and then he unfolded it.
That's real t-shirt now. That's a real thing now. And everybody don't have that now.
Let me just say this. Oftentimes we're told that our history was destroyed. That when the Europeans went over to Africa, that they destroyed our history. A lot of our history is in museums, but most of our history was in the minds and the hearts of the African griots, the elders, who sat amongst the youth, and the youth sat at the feet of those elders And those traditions was orally told to us. Africans were oral historians, meaning we took the opportunity and the time to sit amongst our youth and elders and exchange our history. We don't do that no more. Most young people don't talk to nobody 60 and old, and most folks 60 and old ain't talking to young people.
Nope.
You may be the last politician locally that has done anything with black youth in the last 20 years since this year. You may be the last one. And it's documented. You look at it. It ain't no preacher, it ain't no church. Nobody's engaging the youth. My whole focus been on youth. I don't care when the police came. I wasn't involved with the George Floyd Black. That didn't move me. I was more moved by Tamir Rice. So I'm more moved about the 11-year-old that just got killed in Oak Cliff. That there's no Black Lives Matter movement behind. So I'm saying, man, if we really take the time to look and see what's going on, we would at least take the time to talk to our children to see what's life been like after the pandemic. We don't know how many kids been closed in and was locked in with the molester and been quiet about it. Nobody's talking, nobody's engaging, nobody's checking the temperature until they commit a crime.
Well, here's the deal. I won't be the last one. You know why? So you gonna help. Okay? You gonna help. Other people gonna help. We're gonna call them out. We're gonna call out the ones that ain't helping, that's faking the community. Because I also was gonna talk a little bit about how our community is being pimped. And I'm gonna tell you, I do not like to see our community being pimped by the people that are supposed to be speaking on our behalf.
Where you want to start it? You want to start at CVS, Walgreens, Easy Pond, Cash America Pond, PLS, whatever your check cash and payday loan places, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, Popeyes, Panda Express, all those same places with no farmer market, no access to a garden. You talking about the food deserts that we live in. Our politicians are bringing everything. Though you talking about that?
I'm talking about everybody.
The necessities that we need in our communities that we lack.
All you gotta do is go down Martin Luther King Boulevard,
Family
come up, see the
Dollars.
president, see what you got and see what you don't have. Go over and on Northwest Highway, Inwood, Greenville Avenue, see what they got.
Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, Dollar Generals. That's what we see being coming up. No modern day sculpted parks. No health elements as far as a walking area where our elders or our young who have a fitness mind can go walk. No bike lanes. Not even no dog parks. You name it. You can just go look at those elements and those infrastructures and see what.
But you see one thing, as a politician, I gotta say this, and I gotta say this. I fought like hell, and I'm not trying to make this an eye. Do not, please, nobody get this wrong. I'm not trying to make it an eye. I fought like hell to get us our park, and that's the deck park that you see on 35, right by the zoo. They wanted to take that park and put it over there on 635. And let me tell you something. I fought like hell, and you see it's going up now. But the opposition that I had in making that happen, and the current council person that is there fought the hell against it, came and busted up my press conference, called it a rec park and everything else, and now trying to get on board like, oh, that's a great thing to happen. So we do have it, but we got some sellout people representing us, and I want to let you have one more word now. Go
that park. Go ahead.
No, here's it. We can change it, but in our previous conversations, we can do anything we want to do. We ain't got to have all the stuff in our
I was just about to say we can do whatever we want to do. We have the knowledge. We now live in an information age. Nothing can be hidden anymore. We have access to knowledge and information that can lead us to the resources to help us create the alternative. So think about how big Little League football is. Think about the death that we've lost to people who've been killed at Little League football games. The violence that's now being surrounded and plagued around Little League sports. Why we don't have a Little League park? Why is it that when you go to West Dallas and the West Dallas black football team have to get at this park, it's Mexicans running the park? Why we got to go through the Mexicans to have a black little league football game and the Mexicans telling us to pick up trash? Why we got overseers with black leaders with all the money and resources? Why is it that this black mayor of Dallas have given the Indian Arabs, they got a flag? There are more Arab Indians that live in Dallas than anywhere in the world. Why you think it's so many gas stations? It ain't a black face that own one. I know one Arab Indian family. I done met with them, Pakistanians. I done met with all of them. They own stuff that we'll never be able to own because they know black leaders who have helped them to acquire this.
Well, now you're going to help change it now.
Yes, sir.
You know, if I had my baton, we're going to just do the first bump. You're going to have to help change it. And this is the other side of Carlton White.
Yes, sir.
That Charleston White. That
you bringing me back home. Just what most people don't know. I started out with you. I started out up under you, meeting with you, going to go eat pizza. Me and Miss Anna Marie. Man, you breathe life into me. And I would go back to Fort Worth and they would try to blow the life out. I come back out here and meet with you. I had to mutate into this to reach the youth because they were going to put their arm around me, Mayor, and bring me in, and I was going to sell out. I was going to be just what I was speaking against. I had to become angry. I had to get disappointed and hurt by Pastor Chris, who said, man, just give me $50 an hour. You can bring the kids over here. I had to see that. So here it is. God done brought us back full circle. It's been 12 years.
But here's the deal. We're just getting started. Now, I got your commitment.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take 100. You ever been fishing? You ain't never been
Twice.
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 You know how many little boys have never been fishing? And little girls.
A whole bunch of them.
They ain't never been fishing.
A whole bunch of them.
We're going to take them. And we're going to take them. But once we strengthen up and get everybody here, then we're going to bring the fathers back into the game. We're going to help the mothers. We're going to support the kids. We're going to show them what is real. And we're going to make sure that they get on the right track. I can't do it without you. We're going to stop all the beefs. We're going to do everything. We're going to sell it down. And it's going to start right here at the other side.
Yes, sir.
But the other side can't do it without the other side.
Yes, sir.
And then when you bring all the sides together, then you know what you got? You got the real side.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Charleston.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate
You've been
you, man.
listening to the other side. We're just beginning. We'll have more. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
You've been listening to The Other Side with Dewaine Carraway. Thank you for joining us. Tune in next time for more great guests, insightful conversation, a little bit of humor, and a whole lot of truth on The Other Side with Dewaine Carraway.
Yeah, that was a pretty
Recordings
good conversation.
just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard.
Very healthy.
So excited to announce that local recordings are now available.
I'm about to try to see me and C Dub. We about to
this
we about
jacket,
to mess up our
Anton.
friendship. It's Teague. I'm about to convince you to leave. Yeah, I'm about to convince you to leave the state and go to find another location. How is he still there, man? I mean, because I don't. Either he got to be the craziest person I've ever heard in my life, or you got to be like so dedicated to the cause and what it is that you really stand for that you just willing to risk.
Man, one of the ones I think that he would one of the ones I would probably say that probably, man, he should be concerned about is probably one of the ones that's saying, man, it really changed his life.
Yeah, but you just don't know, bro.
Well, I had the vast majority of the threats came after the roundups. That's when I might have the same phone number, by the way. If they still want to call me, they can call me. Hey, you gotta know. You got good and the bad. You gotta know. But that's when I got a lot of the threats. I mean, my wife and I didn't stay home alone for months on end because of the threats that came in. This book didn't get properly promoted because the book release party we got threats and social media is blowing up. People are going to drive by. So I haven't been able to really promote
No
this
book
thing.
signing, no nothing. He ain't had a book signing yet.
Nothing. Haven't done anything.
I
for
told
the
him I
book.
want to have no book signing.
But again, it's
Man.
so I think most of it now that even some of the you read some of the bad reviews are, man, it's another white guy coming in and trying to gentrify a neighborhood, taking advantage of black people, trying to make money. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a person that didn't read the book. So I don't care what they say because they obviously didn't read the book. That's not what it's about at all. In fact, it's entirely the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do everything I can to advocate for black people and especially poor black people.
Mm-hmm.
And I even get flack for that. I'm not trying to be the white
That's what I'm
savior
saying.
for
You
white
can't-
savior complex. That doesn't exist.
You can't win. Like either way, you lose.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, either way, you kind of win too. All you got to do is just, and I know you know this too.
Yeah.
Is you're going to have people that you say something and you know your intention, and they can either receive it or they can't. But you have to ignore the ones that can't, because the ones that will receive it are the ones that have a chance to figure it out more, and they'll listen more. And if you have a chance to listen more or introduce them to somebody else and say, man, why don't you listen what Charleston has to say, and get them moving along, those are the ones you got to focus on. There's way too many extreme opinions these days that it's going to be impossible to drag to the middle.
Maybe I'm the crazy one for having crazy friends like you and Charleston. Because see, Charleston don't care nothing about what these people were saying.
Well, we've
like
had that
Charleston gonna
conversation,
say what Charleston want to say, and then you crazy because you're not selfish enough to actually protect yourself.
Well, look, we do things. I'm not saying I don't protect myself. So we're keenly aware, and protect ourselves as is reasonable. But again, I think once people know that the story is there, I think you can get out of prison, turn your life around, and know that you were a part of something that actually is turning other people's lives around for the better.
Yeah.
Because everybody's played a part in that. And it's not, I literally am absolutely in debt over that book. So I'm not making any money off it. The neighborhood is improved. You know, we've gone down and done interviews with people. They came through and put up fences and painted the houses, and they bulldozed some of the houses that have been sitting there forever. It's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than it used to be. And I think just the fact that now the movement isn't about the next undercover operation to take people down. And now I think the movement now can be about what else can we do so that that's not the only part of the solution, and that maybe people try to make a different decision about the direction that they take. So that's
we
that's
need
the
this
point.
on Netflix somewhere, man. They got to see this.
Yeah, for sure.
American Gangster were good, but nah.
You ain't never thought about like doing consulting work as far as for different police departments within urban communities to better help them to understand how they can make more of an impact instead of just looking at it like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I do speak in engagements, and usually they're limited to, you know, church groups or leadership programs and things like that. Because again, as soon as you make a big advertisement about it, then, but a police department would be a great opportunity. It would be, I absolutely would be able to do that. I was
working at a fulfillment center, and now I'm working a big event here in Miami. The app gives you a lot of information, especially.
Let's listen to these dumb people.
Have you ever heard of the manosphere?
I don't know what the manosphere is.
Have you ever heard of Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
It's an alternate view on relationships, kind of favoring the man's role in society right now and lawfully.
The manosphere is defined as a collection of websites, blogs, and online forums promoting masculinity, misogyny, and opposition to feminism.
Misogyny? Promoting misogyny? Well, now that's obviously not.
Okay, well that's what the Wikipedia
definition
right.
Is. It's a little biased.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. Well, it's Wikipedia. What do you think of all the different manosphere channels and the similarities and differences between their messages?
So far in the manosphere, I may have maybe like 3 different channels that I know of. One is Fresh and Fit. One was Kevin Samuels, and another one, it's a bald-headed white guy. He has like a salt and peppery beard. So they talk about different things. Kevin Samuels was very provocative. It seemed like he was a shock jock and he wanted to get the conversation started. It seemed like he didn't believe some of the stuff he would say. He would just say it to be provocative, to get men and women talking about it, because it's important to have these conversations.
I think that some people are intentionally antagonistic in that space in order to promote a message and promote themselves, and that's understandable. I wouldn't find it that interesting for that aspect of it.
The manosphere, when it comes to Fresh and Fit, those guys have some point of views that are legit. Also, some of the point of views, they're not really so legit to me. Like one of the guys said, you should, be with at least 50 women before you settle down. That seems a bit excessive, so that's not really, something I vibe with. But just with anything, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and you agree with people when they're right, and also when they're wrong.
Shout out to the whole ass.
So we have to be. I think that we're an intelligent society, and we can listen to different people, different personalities, and pick what's good from the bad and separate it.
Well, that's the thing. I think that people that are criticizing it are going to be painting it with a very broad brush. And so, even within, like, let's take Andrew Tate, for instance, right?
Do you think Andrew Tate is helping or hurting men, and why?
I think he's helping men because he motivates us to be better and motivates us to want more out of our lives.
He's helping men, you feel me, be more in touch with their masculinity, but he's also, like, he does have some misogynistic traits. And
there are some good points that I think that he boosts confidence in young men, but he can damage some that misinterpreted what he says.
Although he has some opinions that are against women, I feel like the majority of what he says is good for men, and I feel like men should listen to what he's saying.
Obviously, he's been arrested in Romania on some, serious charges, right? But you could take individual things that he says, and 80-85% of the people that you might ask might agree with those things. They might not agree with
ID number 9,
whatever he might have done to get charged with criminal charges, but that doesn't mean that you should throw out necessarily the whole message.
Which is more important, their message or their lifestyle?
The message. The message. Always the message.
The more important thing socially is the message, but the thing that might sell it is the lifestyle.
I don't know, because I believe, Pearly Things, you've heard of them? Pearly Things, her channel, she doesn't practice anything she preaches.
Can you be more specific?
She always says that men don't want a career-oriented woman or a person that talks strong and, a masculine, career-oriented and all that. I don't know. She just I don't know. She tells other women how to be when she's being the opposite of what she's telling them to be.
Do you watch their content more for the educational value or for the entertainment value?
Yeah, for the education.
I like the educational value of it. And then sometimes it's very entertaining. Just like your channel, man. I love your channel. You be lighting their asses up.
How much of what is being said is new information?
Like 60%. Yeah, 60%.
None of it. There's nothing new under the sun, as they say. So, but there's a lot of it that is new to a lot of people, a lot of young men, for instance.
Younger people, it's new information. Older people has been here, but the way it's being presented is new.
We've been kind of raised that girls with sugar spice everything nice, guys with snakes, snails, and puppy dog tails. But it turns out that a lot of these women are not sugar and spice, and a lot of men have found that out, the hard way and had a rude awakening with some really unscrupulous women.
Men have a platform now, as before when it was just Oprah and Sally, Jesse Raphael, and Ricky Lake. That's all we had to really go by. But now men are picking up the microphone. Men are doing their thing. Men are giving their perspective on things, and it kind of gives a counterbalance, and that's what we need.
And I think that it's also very sobering for women too, for them to actually consider what the future holds based off of their behavior and their choices.
If this is not new information, why has nothing improved?
Because the message not getting out.
Not just women, but everybody. Everybody's on their square. The men are over here, the women over here. Everybody's separated. Even when you go out, man, in clubs, everybody's separated. It's just how can you improve from that? Everybody's more engaged to their phones.
Before you can have social change, you have to have awareness, right? And I'm going to go to the opposite, which is the women's suffrage movement, let's say. well before women got the right to vote, there had to be decades literally, of awareness of those issues before there was any meaningful social change. And I think that I think that may be the case here. And maybe it's not decades, but any.
Are you in Texas?
I like this.
Would you like to
Millionaire.
know the secret for having a
Multimillionaire.
better life? Would you like to quit your job, create a legacy for your family, become a millionaire, or even a multimillionaire?
Millionaire.
Social
Multimillionaire.
movement starts with awareness.
But
It's
just
funny, though,
because
every time
you
I hear
have
it.
information doesn't mean that things are
That
going to
shit's
improve.
funny every time I hear it.
There are so many people that know how to be fit.
Multimillionaire.
They know they should, eat a little less food. They should eat nutritious food. They should go to the gym. They should try to get sleep. But how many people are doing that? A lot of people know, how to take care of their relationships, but who's actually doing it? A lot of people know what to do, but actually doing it or being aware of what to do and actually doing it are two different things. So I don't think it just applies to this topic.
Why do these channels spend so much time on self-improvement and men grooming themselves to please toxic women that just want to use them and bring nothing to the table?
Honest opinion, I feel like a lot of men lose a lot of masculinity. So I just feel like they just need to know, let these females know you can't just use any man how they want to use them.
To please toxic women that just want to use us and bring nothing to the table.
We shouldn't.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good. We shouldn't use it for toxic women.
I believe that you supposed to better yourself so you can attract the women you want, not gold diggers and shit.
So the idea is become
Oh
a
my
person
goodness.
that is that somebody would want to be with, and not do it, but don't do it just to. It's kind of like pickup artists. The idea of kind of gaming the system, playing a game versus becoming a person who's attractive to the type of people you want to attract.
Does having a flashy car and a fancy watch attract the type of women you want?
Personally, no, because a lot of them are not loving me. They're loving what I can
Sometimes.
do for them. So
Sometimes.
I want a girl that's more traditional value. A girl that has more some more things we have in common.
Not really materialistic, all that.
How is having game different than simping for women?
Ooh, good point.
Mm.
In theory, simping would be being a nice guy. So if you're talking about in terms of pickup artists, simping would be being a nice guy, whereas pickup artist stuff is heavily, at least in certain people's expression of it, involves negging and that sort of thing. And so one is being nice and one is getting what you want without being nice.
Game is like winning her mind over with just your mouthpiece.
With just your
Simping
mouthpiece.
is like, hey, I'll spend so much money on you. I'll buy you dinner. I'll take you shopping. Like,
You see how the
You don't
difference
need-
between
you don't
the
need
black
money to
version of the
get a
answer
woman.
and the white version?
Having game is usually when you're trying to hit on a girl to get laid. Simping for women is when you're trying to get a girlfriend.
Having game is being able to go up to a girl, start a conversation with her, get her laughing, giggling. You feel me? Being able to get the number and be able to go somewhere from that.
What does it mean to flex?
To flex would be a show of a display of wealth or power or something like that.
Okay, white
That
guy.
just means to like show off, to be a showboat, to do
Black guy.
too much. Like,
Black kid.
What's the difference between old money versus new money, and which one is more likely to flex?
Both.
Obviously, new money would be more likely to flex, I think.
Old
so
money be flexing.
old money is would be a person who has family money. New money is a person who just made money and is therefore more likely to flaunt it.
How is buying a bunch of luxury items to impress women
hold
not
on,
just
hold
another
on.
form of simping?
That's something to think about. Old money, I think they both flex. But, because Jay-Z always, who is it? Now, JD always say he's still spending crisscross money. That's old money flex. But I get what he's saying. So old money is pretty much more humble because it's family riches, right? New money, you ain't never had it before, so you showing out. Maybe when you get you some money, you just don't say nothing.
I feel like that's a good
Make it family
good thing.
money.
It depends what's
going on, Yeezy?
the guy feels. Like if the guy is doing it for the women, then I understand that. I view that as a form of simping because they're trying to get their attention. But if they buy that for any other external reasons outside of that, I believe that's that has a different meaning in my opinion.
I think it is kind of like being simping because it's like you're begging for attention for women, and you're offering materialistic items, not really what like is in the inside, like a conversation or something about yourself.
It used to be, oh yeah, I want a man that's gonna protect me, who'll be there for me, who'll be the leader, the head of the household. Now it's, oh yeah, I want a man who makes 5 figures. I want a man who who doesn't work a 9 to 5. I want a guy who does all these crazy things.
Hold on, young man. Everybody makes 5 figures. They do be so sounding so stupid. Oh my god. He said she wants somebody. I know what he meant. I know he meant 6 figures. He said he wants somebody who make like 5 figures. Shit. Oh no. That shit's funny. I gotta hold on. I gotta play that back.
I want a man who makes 5 figures. I want a man who who doesn't work a 9 to 5. I want a guy who does all these crazy things but can't bring anything to the table. See, at least back then, when women, when women had all these crazy high expectations, it was, you feel me, they were at least bringing something back to the table.
Do women's delusional expectations require men to
You
set
feel me?
delusional goals?
You feel me?
In a sense, yeah.
Nah,
Some girls want
didn't
like
feel that one.
a 6-figure man, and like honestly, like dude, like look at yourself. Like you don't have a job. You expect your looks to get you everywhere, and like it could affect men delusions.
Defect.
What's the difference between
The
a woman
fuck?
rating herself a
Defect. The
10
fuck?
and a guy calling himself an alpha male?
The difference is if an alpha male is like a king. So you're always supposed to treat a man like a king. And a woman that's rating herself 10, she just bougie and stuck up.
Nobody's 10 out of 10. Nobody in this world is 10 out of 10. It's just you having an inflated ego. But being an alpha male, you're just, like you feel like you're a dominant person. You feel like, you can set the tone, you can take charge and lead things.
Men recognize alpha males.
Alphas
Women,
don't feel.
not all,
They
but
know.
some women are delusional
Come on.
and they think they're 10s and they're far from it. So, but women
Crazy.
can tell themselves anything and believe it. Men, we have to prove it.
Why do men even have to be labeled alpha or beta males in the first place?
You don't need to be. I don't
Really
know
don't
where
have
it
to.
came from, and I don't understand why it's a thing.
That's sort of an analogy. And then there's the sigma male. We have the sigma male.
What is that?
That is
The one that doesn't care.
The sigma, and
like a
these are all
renegade.
analogies from wolves, of course, which are not necessarily the most applicable to human society. But if we're making analogies from wolves, the sigma wolf hunts outside the pack. He's like a
Yeah.
lone wolf. He's even cooler than the alpha.
Yeah.
And so after the alpha male, and people self-proclaiming
I
alpha
heard
male
that bullshit.
status
I said,
has sort of
man.
lost some status. And now
you just
everybody
men
wants to be
and
the
women.
sigma male, who's cooler than the alpha male because he's the lone wolf.
He could be
What's the
the
difference
alpha
between
in the
calling a
room.
man a beta male and shaming a man for not being a real man?
So
Oh,
basically,
good
what he's saying is the alpha male will step on the beta male. That's a given because alpha males feel like beta males are weak. Granted, the sigma male was probably once a beta male and got stepped on, became an alpha male, and started stepping on alpha males. And then he was like, I don't really care. So he do his own thing. So he could be in a room with an alpha male and check an alpha male, so to speak. Like he's willing to go that far. That's what a sigma male is. But that shit just came up somewhere. I don't know when it was created. I just saw it, online one day. But yeah, it was interesting.
Honestly, some men just like to be named alpha and for the ego, just to boost the ego, like they're successful because they can do something that other men can't, when in reality we're all equal and we're just trying to better ourselves.
Why are there some men who shame women for having a high body count, but then also complain about how hard it is to get laid? Is that a double standard?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. They want all the women to sleep with them, not everybody else, though. So yeah, I mean, it is a kind of hypocrisy. Yes.
So it's it's a great business to have. So you're looking at 30,000, 40,000 a month.
When a girl has a high body count, in my opinion, her value kind of decreases, and I feel like women know that. So that's why I feel like when women are in arguments with another woman, they tend to say, "Oh, that's why you're a hoe. That's why you're a whore." All this stuff, and I feel like they know that that's devaluing, and they try to use that against each other, even when they're.
Should we be blaming simps for women's bad behavior?
No.
I don't think so.
Didn't women set the terms that they needed to be served and put on a pedestal, which created simping in the first place?
Yes.
I say 80% of it is simps because they're the ones going to OnlyFans, paying money, being suckered. And like Snoop said, if you're a sucker, you're gonna get licked.
You're sending this girl money you've never seen. You feel me? You're asking her. You're asking her to do all these crazy things for you over online or in person. But you feel me? It's not real love.
Simping is the worst thing you could ever do.
Didn't women set the terms that they needed to be served and put on a pedestal, which created simping in the first place?
That's not what created simping.
Y'all
in
women
my
out
opinion.
here
What created simping is
creating
mothers,
simps out here.
single mothers
The fuck
that
is
raise
going
their
on?
sons to be suckers.
Yes,
and
you
they
mothers
raise
are raising your
see,
sons to
they
be
got with the
suckers.
bad boy. Women like bad boys by nature. They got with the bad boys, didn't like the outcome. Then they raised their sons to be good boys. But then the son finds out that women don't want good boys. They want bad boys. Or they want bad boys and turn them into good boys.
The phenomenon of simping would probably go back further in human psychology, all the way back to the caveman
What up,
times.
King?
I'm sure there's going to be a caveman simp if we were to trace it back far enough.
Aren't simps a byproduct of what feminism has caused?
Yep.
So then why are we blaming the victim?
What?
I have no idea.
Why do men even have to be labeled alpha or beta males in the first place?
In my opinion, I don't really think there's a reason to use it. I feel like that's a stupid way to put like labels on men. But I feel like it's just been around because
Peace.
just like predatory instincts, like
Together.
how us humans
Unity.
just evolve.
Men today and boys
I'm
and
just
men,
listening to this little
there's a lot that they
this little
can take away that's
podcast,
useful
whatever you
from
want to call it.
those messages.
It's
And I
complicated.
think
It's a
that
show. Pretty
you
interesting.
know, to paint it with that broad of a brush that it's misogynistic inherently, I don't think is correct.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Man, my phone hot. Ugh. What's next on the blame society? Rules of the modern woman dating and understanding. Let's see what this is. It's another one. Here's another one for your funky minds. Try to do the time. Because I'm almost done with my hours.
Can you define accountability?
Taking responsibility for your own actions. Yes, whether you lie or tell the truth, it's all about just being honest with your partner.
Accountability to me is just taking responsibility for your own actions, making sure that you, like, when you say you're gonna do something or you say
Is he black or white?
like something is important to you, that you follow up on those things.
Accountability is when I say I'm going to do something, that I'm following through. Accountability is follow through to me.
Who takes more accountability, men or women, and why?
Women.
Why?
Hell no.
Men try to hide shit because they feel like they're gonna
Man.
scare their women away or
Oh my goodness.
hurt them in some way.
I've had a lot of guys tell me they're gonna do something and it doesn't happen.
I'm gonna say, I guess men. No, I guess women.
What?
Why?
Nigga, you gay.
I don't know. I feel like women are more
Men.
emotionally intelligent.
That ain't got nothing to do with
Definitely
accountability.
understand,
Accountability
like,
means not
their
making the same
emotions and
mistake
things that they
again.
care about a little bit more than men.
I think men because they have to work more, and so
See a woman though.
like they have a lot more going on in their head, so they have a lot more they have to like take accountability for and
Shout out to her.
responsibility, and
She knows something.
they don't really argue much, at least from what I've seen.
What was the last mistake you took accountability for?
You know, I blamed my boyfriend and I take accountability for blaming him. So just now.
When was the last time you apologized?
I'm sorry.
When was the last time you apologized?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I always take part in any problem, regardless. Even if someone did something to me, I always take my part of the blame. Is like I put myself in the situation, you know. And I feel like that's the only way we learn how to grow is by taking accountability for everything. It takes two for everything.
When someone commits a crime, do you blame the criminal or do you blame society?
The criminal. You can always make your own decisions at the end of the day.
Both. It's nature and nurture. The way you were raised, your mindset, your own individual actions. I think all of that matters. I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
If they're impoverished and it led to them stealing food, then I don't blame them for their crime. I blame society because of the system that we have, and capitalism has failed them.
Okay, white girl.
Whereas if they were to murder somebody, then that's a different story.
I blame society because I feel like society, in a way, they cause the criminal
That's
to be a
Habib.
criminal.
Habib.
I mean, a criminal doesn't become a criminal overnight. Something must have occurred in their lives that would make them do crimes, make them want to do something.
So if a guy cheats, can he blame society?
No, if a guy cheats, then he should be
So
responsible.
how is
for,
that different than a criminal? I mean, if someone does wrong, why are you more likely to blame society than blame the individual?
Because for society, it takes
He's lying though.
It takes up over time.
He'll call the
Usually
laws on a
criminal,
nigga.
in my
I
opinion,
know
it
he
doesn't
would.
happen overnight. Like I
Cut it up
said,
and
Well, if
bite.
a guy cheats, why can't he just blame hookup culture?
I mean, like he could, but then like how long would that occur? Like how
Well,
long?
okay, if a guy cheats, can he blame society or hookup culture?
Absolutely not. I don't even have to finish hearing the rest of that. If a guy cheats, he cannot blame society.
Yes, he can.
You've made that choice, and that's where the accountability comes in. So if you make a choice to commit to somebody, you make
I
a choice
was
to commit and
raped.
follow through. If you're ready to step out
I
the
was
door,
raped.
you can
What
make
if he-
that
what if he
choice
said
to
that?
be respectful and to say, hey, you know what? I respect you enough and I love you enough that this isn't going to work out as a
Can I don't know what just happened. Hold on. I'm receiving a phone call. Hello? Oh man. Phone didn't ring, but it was ringing on my laptop, so I wasn't gonna stop that. Up. Now here we go. Hello? 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 Mm-hmm. No. Live streaming and listening to this podcast. All right. Yep. Be careful. See, everything's all good, y'all. People still like me. People still like me. People
the
still call me.
monogamous relationship, I've got to go elsewhere.
Why is it when a man cheats, he's a cheater, but when a woman cheats,
That was on
it's
my
because
personal
she's not
phone too.
satisfied?
Not the
If you
call
cheat,
in
you're a
line.
cheater. If you're a man or a woman.
I mean, isn't a man not satisfied when he's cheating?
I mean, like it's not black or white, but it has been statistically proven that women cheat for different reasons as opposed to men. For men, it's more like sexual gratification, and for women, it's more like emotional gratification. But both are not true and not honest with each other, and that's really what matters. Just I guess like communication in general.
Is it possible to have equality without equal accountability?
Oh no.
Stop. Before you spend the next 40 plus hours trying to get a personal training certification, just stop. There's a much easier way without having to give away 40, 50, or even 60% of your hard-earned income. Avoid.
Yeah, no.
How can men and women ever be equal if relationships have double standards?
I would say it's impossible.
That's a really tough thing because, I mean, our society is built off of we live in a patriarchal society where men have ruled for a really long time, so it's really hard to do that because double standards were created in our society by men.
Why is it when men do wrong, it's men's fault, but when women do wrong, it's society's fault?
I think women just try to put the blame on other people. That's something that like I find myself working on a lot because I do see it a lot in the world.
What are women exclusively held accountable for?
Oh, I'm not exclusively held accountable for just women. I'm not sure. I can't think of anything.
Can you think of any problems in society that aren't blamed on men? What are women exclusively held accountable for?
Nothing exclusively held accountable for. I guess keeping their shirts on.
That's a good question. I really have no answer for that. I think we're not really held accountable for anything, and everything gets blamed on men.
Can you think of any problems in society that aren't blamed on men?
I ain't gonna lie. This shit really had hurted me. I'm talking about it sunk me, duck sit and everything. But see, once you just let that hurt suck in, and then your heart just get, your heart repair itself and you numb, that hurt don't hurt no more. Bitch, look out. Bitch, I'm a new creature. I'm going to shit on you. I'm gonna make you love me. I'm gonna make you miss me. I'm gonna make you hate me. I'm gonna do it all. Bitch, yeah. Ain't nothing a haircut can't fit. Hold on, see me shit. Ain't nothing a hair can't fit with the cool fit. Oh, that's big retarded. God.